Today marks the 26th year anniversary of the sinking of the MV Cebu City of William Lines after its collision with the MV Kota Suria of the Pacific International Lines of Singapore. A legendary vessel of the prestigious William Lines that encountered an unfortunate end. With her now receding from collective memory, we will try to take a blast from the past and retell her glorious role in the shipping history. Stay tuned for more information and fun facts about this iconic ship. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell to get the latest updates. You can also support our channel by joining our membership program. Your contribution will help us create more informative videos just like this one. Exclusive perks and more await you. Just click on the join button down below to learn more. On December 1970, William Lines suffered an upset. Their new flagship, the MV Misamis Occidental, the first one not named after a city or a Chongbian Sayon, and the first brand new liner of the company, was upset by the new flagship of the brash newcomer, Sweet Lines. The legendary MV Sweet Fate, whose main asset aside from luxury was speed. She was the first ever liner to able to do 20 knots locally. Not to take a humiliation sitting down, William Chongbian plotted his revenge and henceforth ordered a new flagship from Japan, something that will take on the MV Sweet Fate head-on. The builder, Niigata Engineering, took the design of the flagship MV Don Juan of Negros Navigation, which they built in 1971, and then put on a bigger engine, a Hitachi B&W diesel engine with a total output of 5,670 horsepower compared to the 5,000 horsepower of the MV Don Juan. So, from the 19 knots of the MV Don Juan, the MV Cebu City was capable of 20 knots sustained, fast enough to battle MV Sweet Fate. For bursts, the ship could do 21 knots. She was also the last brand new cruiser liner to come into the country. As a luxury liner designed to match MV Sweet Fate, all her accommodations including third class was air-conditioned to match the all-air-conditioned MV Sweet Fate. Air conditioning was the hallmark of the emerging class of luxury liners back then. Even third class of the MV Cebu City also had closed-circuit color television and piped-in music, which were great things back then. Closed-circuit color TV was also available in all cabins and dining rooms, and in other strategic places of the ship. TVs were closed-circuit because there is barely any TV reception at sea. There is a master TV control room which feeds programs to the TV aboard the ship. The fare in third class was only 40 pesos, which was about a fifth of the monthly allowance of a student then from the province. The ship had 24 first-class suites, staterooms and cabins for 100 passengers. The first-class dining saloon was designed by the well-known Daimaru of Japan. An organist plays a Yamaha organ for the first-class passengers, which also had a tasteful bar and a good view of the sea. Room service is also available for first-class passengers. Mess boys were under supervisors with HR training. There was also a sun deck with easy chairs and shades. The passengers of the different classes do not mix, a play for the well-heeled of Cebu. There was also a ship-to-shore radio for the convenience of the passengers. That was important then, when there were no cell phones yet. The ship was also equipped with the latest navigation and firefighting equipment. There was also a cold storage system for goods that must be kept refrigerated. A medical clinic was also available. There was also a tourist information center and shop for Cebu items. The MV Cebu City was financed by the Private Development Corporation of the Philippines and the Private Investment Company for Asia. The total cost of the ship was 19.5 million pesos. It was classed by Lloyd's Register of Shipping. And so, MV Cebu City battled MV Sweet Fate in the premier route of the country, the Manila-Cebu route in 1972. Nobody wanted to yield an inch, be it in speed, service, amenities, luxury, and food. What they were offering then was not only transport, but also the experience, which was a novel concept then in local shipping. It was the greatest ever mano-a-mano clash of flagships, not just in that time, but in our whole shipping history. Their battle became the stuff of legends. The newest gem of William Lines, MV Cebu City, was launched and inaugurated on September 22, 1972. When the MV Cebu City participated in what was called the Flagship Wars, she was one of the biggest flagships in the country with a length of 98.8 meters, a gross registered tonnage of 2,452 tons, and a passenger capacity of 941. Her passenger capacity is small compared to her net registered tonnage, the measure of her usable space of 1,604 tons, which means she had more than adequate space for her passengers. Later, in the age of containerization, she can also carry 50 10-foot container vans loaded in a load-on, load-off fashion. In 1980, their battle ended when the MV Sweet Fate was retired from service and scrapped, and a new flagship came for William Lines, the highly regarded MV Doña Virginia. But near the end of their rivalry, the MV Cebu City was already faster, as the MV Sweet Fate was already old. With the MV Doña Virginia as the new flagship of the company, the MV Cebu City was shunted to other routes, especially the Manila, Tagbilaran, Dumaguete, Ozamis route. She was also assigned to the Manila, Batan, Dumaguete, Cagayan de Oro, Ligan route, with a combination of a round-trip Manila-Masbate route. She was never assigned again to her namesake Cebu City except as a replacement. However, she was successful in all the routes she had been assigned to and was always a loved ship in all the ports she called in. This is until an unexpected tragedy cut short her illustrious career, which became one of the notable maritime incidents that ever happened in Philippine shipping history. It was on a scheduled voyage for the MV Cebu City on the midnight of December 1st, 1994, when she departed the Manila North Harbor late by several hours on her way to the port of Tagbilaran. Meanwhile, a 162.5-meter, 15,000 deadweight ton container ship named the MV Kota Suria of the Pacific International Lines of Singapore was on her way to the port of Manila. It was around 3:45 a.m., early dawn of December 2nd, 1994, when the MV Kota Suria was about to enter the mouth of Manila Bay, a few nautical miles off the island of Corregidor. While on the other end, the MV Cebu City of William Lines was about to exit Manila Bay on her way to her assigned destination. When ships meet, they usually pass each other port to port, or left side to left side. But the situation locally was there were no clear rules of the road, but international ships turn to starboard as it is the norm in international waters. But in that sea, many small local ships have the tendency to turn port side or left and tuck in near the coast and save on running time and fuel. 4 a.m. is the time when officers of the ship change watch. When the new officer on deck came and took stock, he noticed that his ship, MV Kota Suria, was on a collision course with the MV Cebu City. At 4:07 a.m., the officer on deck of the MV Kota Suria tried to contact the MV Cebu City through the VHF radio on channel 16 to alter its course to the starboard or right side, but it was too late. The MV Kota Suria, a much bigger and heavier ship, slammed into the midsection of the MV Cebu City in the early morning when most of the passengers were sound asleep. The impact tore a meter-long hole below the waterline of the passenger ferry, and another across its starboard bow, and the bridge of the ship also sustained damage. Water immediately rose inside the MV Cebu City, throwing the passengers into panic and confusion. Many jumped off the ship, while the MV Kota Suria desperately tried to pluck passengers from the water. The wound on the MV Cebu City was mortal, and the stricken ferry sank some 30 minutes after the collision. The container ship sustained just minor damage. For hours, the container vessel lingered near the point of impact, trying to find more survivors. Many Navy and Coast Guard vessels helped in the rescue alongside fishing vessels in the area and other ships passing by. But despite the many ships engaged in the rescue, the incident still claimed over 71 deaths, while there are still 26 people missing and presumed to be trapped and dead inside the ship. This sea tragedy shocked the nation, and with the recent loss of the MV Doña Paz and MV Doña Marilyn, both former flagships like the MV Cebu City, the irresponsible media painted sea travel as unsafe. However, a total of 501 passengers and crew survived the collision and sinking of the MV Cebu City. But the sad reality is, when passengers are injured or knocked unconscious or trapped in a collision, especially inside the cabins, the chances of surviving goes down. It has been 26 years now after that dreadful sea mishap. Passengers always fear a collision at night, especially if the sea is rough and the ship is far from shore and rescue. Luckily, the ship was near the shore, and although the collision happened before dawn, it was soon light and it was in an area where many ships can come in to rescue. And yet, that many still lost their lives. Do you have any experiences on board the MV Cebu City? Or do you have any memories to share? Please let us know in the comment section down below. And to everyone who fell victim to this tragedy, we in PSSS would like to extend our deepest sympathies. Thanks for watching and hope to see you on our next videos.